Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Evie and today we are doing something completely different than what I am. So as you can probably guess by the title of the video, or by what you're seeing here, we are visiting the site Quotev today and figuring out what Monster High character I am. So if you're unfamiliar with Quotev, Quotev is a place where people can read, they can write, and produce content with mainly like fan fictions. I know Creepypasta is one of the popular ones, Monster High too. Basically, anything you see really for fandoms, you can definitely find here, whether it be like Dan and Phil or other YouTubers you're into, etc., etc. So I decided today, as you can probably tell by the voice, I am sick. And I just haven't really been able to work on content and anything, but I had a great idea. And obviously, as you can see, I'm trying to like figure out the negative words for myself. I was going to select them all, but I was like, no. So I'm actually really nosy and gullible, and I am stubborn. It's a horrible trait to have. But anyways, you might get to know me a little bit better if you watch this. I did speed through the quizzes because there were so many, and I was like, there's better things to do with the day than just watch me do a quiz for 30 minutes. It actually took me an hour, but I just kind of skipped through, spit it up for you. But anyways, all the quizzes will be in the bio if you are interested in doing any of these. I highly recommend checking these people out. I used to post on Quotev as a writer, and I was doing really well on it, actually. Like, I'm really proud of how, like, I'm gonna say successful, but that's obviously a loose term. I was on Quotev, and I know how nice it is when people are complimenting your work. I know how nice it is when you're a small creator. Going into, like, I guess a medium-sized creator. I'm not saying, like, I was, like, well-known or anything, but I definitely did get a lot of reads. So definitely check them out if you got the time, if you get the chance. The quizzes were a lot of fun. They're definitely silly, but moving into why I am doing this. So I had an idea that I want to figure out what Monster High character, not character, but monster I would be for a Sims 4 video. So I was like, well, I gotta check with the experts on figuring out what monster I would be. Because I don't know. I really don't. What monster would I be? Would I be a werewolf? Mummy, like the Medusa, like Deuce. So I conducted with the experts and I went on Quotev because if anyone's gonna know a fandom, oh my god, I messed that up, but if anyone's gonna know a fandom, Quotev is your person. I did go on like a couple other websites, but you'll see that later on, and again, everything will be linked in the bio, but I wanted to consult with the experts and do some research on my own of what monster I would be. And also stay tuned because I made a slideshow for the end of the video to conclude my science. But if you are watching this, you can obviously come along. Oh my god. You can also track them and see what have I been getting the entire time. The first one I had was Ghoulia, which yeah, I was not too happy. I mean, no, oh yeah, 7 Minutes in Heaven. I don't know if anyone used to watch like the 7 Minutes in Heaven with the creepypasta. That was like one of my favorite types of things when I first got into the Quote Up series, was just creepypasta. And I don't want to get too much into creepypastas because like they are a dark time in my life. But I used to like, oh my god, I used to love them actually, and I kept seeing like quizzes, and I was like, oh, I should try that one just to see how it is, and just to feel like a little bit nostalgic. Cause it's also a snow day, so it's just kind of like relaxing while I'm sick. So that's pretty fun. And there's like this stupid ad that you can see right now, and it was just angering me so much. But yeah, so overall, I will say when doing this, it was a lot of fun, obviously. I mean, I'm asking questions about myself, right? A lot of the answers, as you can probably see from different parts, they were silly, obviously. Like, what else can you say? Like, again, there's a lot of effort put into these. Like, quizzes I never really made much of on Quotev. I think I made it done one or two, but it was so much work doing. So again, hats off to them, but there was so many things like that I kind of had to sit back and laugh because it was just so silly, the answers, and be like, what is your greatest flaw? Sometimes I kill people, or what is the best thing about you? Like everything. Or there was another one that made me just kind of sit back and laugh that it was cute. Or like set everything on fire, right? Like any Lila stands out there from Dexter. I just finished Dexter, by the way, the first entirety of the show. I am so excited to see what's next in the series because I think next we're doing New Blood, or I can't remember, but I finished the original Dexter show and it was so good. I loved it. It was such a great show. But yeah, so basically you're answering questions about yourself, and I'm getting on like 60 different tangents. And again, if you slow these down, you can probably like find out things about me because since I wanted to know what monster I was, I answered these truthfully. And like as truthfully as I could. So I got a lot of different answers, a lot of different varying results, but as you can probably see throughout it, there was different results, different answers, and I kind of like lost my trail of thought for a second. But it was, I gotta say, it was fun, and I highly recommend checking them out again, just to see what they are. Like again, comment below what monster you got, what character did you get. I got variety, but I will again conclude everything into the slideshow that I was actually looking really forward to doing. It's gonna be like a throwback to my university days. So after going out of the Monster High, I did go into like fantasy creatures because I was like, okay, like there's only so much you can do with Monster High, and a lot of them you kind of, I mean, in general, you can probably get a lot of them based on what is being said, but you can kind of guess what character you're gonna get, and it's not the best research method. And as someone who has who has been a psychology student, I did do a bunch of units on research, so I feel like when you can skew the results and kind of know the answer, it's not accurate, it's not reliable, it's not valid. Yeah, I'm using all the words now from that. Sorry, psychology students, this video is not for you. Probably trauma to research methods, and same with any science course, I guess. I did psychology to beat a dead horse there now. So yeah, I decided to go into supernatural beings and see if like what results I can mainly get. And again, I tried to answer them as truthfully as I could. So that way, but some of it was hard because I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say in this ability, or like I really don't know how to answer this. And I did make a little mention of that little task thing, but I try to keep it out of as much as I could. But I was keeping tally throughout it all just to see the results. But again, you have to stay tuned for my slideshow, and I think I'm gonna put. I haven't made the slideshow yet, but I've made it a start. But I've put in some work, and I'm looking really forward to making the slideshow. So please stay for the slideshow. I beg you. Um, basically, some of these results are saying like I'm a beast or something. Yeah, I am scary. And there was a quote. I really wish I remembered the quote now. That I kind of had a good laugh. And I was like, I should make that my YouTube bio. Actually, like, you might be afraid of me now, but just wait till I'm mad at you or something. And I had a good laugh. I really wanted to make that my YouTube like moda so I can like not threaten people. It's that's horrible to say, but like scare people into like subscribing. Like, boo. That's right. You have to subscribe. I scared you. Like, yeah, I just have pancakes. I have a lot of sugar going through me, and I've had like a few cups of green tea just to soothe my throat. But yeah, so overall, I didn't know when going into it. I was like, it'd be so much fun, and then I was like, why not make quizzes about it? So that's obviously what I did. Um, because I was like thinking about like Monster High and some of like the earlier ones. Like I see people make like Monster High characters all the time, and I was like, that would be fun. But what about making myself as one? And I couldn't choose one because I was thinking of like Spectra. That was my first Monster High character or doll. I just remember I was probably like 10 at the time. Going into well, I live in Canada, so at the time it was Zellers, which is basically I guess Canadian Target. I know we had Target here in Canada too, but it's basically the best comparison I can really think about. And it was during winter too, because they were in for like my Christmas concerts. I was forced to do a Christmas concert. I went to a really small school. Like even if you can't sing, you had to do concerts. And I remember taking him to the store to get a doll, and that was when Spectra was there. She was hidden away because that was the one I really wanted, and I wanted a Monster High so badly. And Spectra was the one I was obsessed. And anyway, she was there. She was hidden away. And when I was about to give up and walk away, she was there. And I've been obsessed with her ever since. But anyways, I can't say if I'm a ghost. I don't know. So that and also in the BuzzFeed thing, I was on a tangent. I accidentally went on what supernatural character you would be, and it was basically Dean Winchester. I once I got halfway through it and I seen the pie, I was like, this isn't about supernatural creatures. This is about the show Supernatural. But anyways, so I hope you enjoyed it so far, and I will check in with you very shortly to show you my slideshow and the results. So see ya! Okay, so we're back, and now it's time for this slideshow, which I'm really excited to present to you all. So let's get into this. What monster am I? A very professional slideshow by me, Evie. So let's see. So starting off with any scientific project, you have to like gather your materials and see what materials we use. So this is the data gather of the slideshow. So starting off, well, I mean, this is a picture of me actually doing this research and preparing this for you all. So to gather the data, I use proper and professional sources including Quotev, BuzzFeed, and the first website I could find that was relevant to what I was doing. And now moving in, we have our hypothesis, or better yet, known as what monster do I think I'm gonna get? So the first one I thought I would get was vampire. They are cool, and I liked Vampire Diaries. And this is an image of me in Animal Crossing as a vampire. Notice my little bat wings there. Second, Ghost. So as I mentioned earlier, Spectra was my first favorite character from this series and what was got me into Monster High. So I thought it would be fun to do Ghost. However, I will say I don't have the Life and Death expansion pack, so Ghost in my game are very lacklustered and very dull. So I don't know. I feel like it could have been fun, but maybe it would have been a little bit plain. I'm not sure, but we didn't get it. Oh wait, sorry, I shouldn't say that. We don't know if we got it, but it would have been a cool thing to do. But just for Spectra, I think it would have been a fun thing. And I have Wisp there for an imagery of a ghost. And next, and lastly, my third hypothesis was a witch. Reasoning, I am basic and cool powers, obviously. And there's a picture of me from Halloween in Animal Crossing. So next we are going to get into this. So without further ado, and I'd like to say a big thank you to Daniel Howell for teaching me how to spell ado when it comes to Wordle. And yes, it's usually ado I use in the game. Or I will go and do my favorite, which is slime, because it's a really cute sounding word and one day it might be that. So what monster would Eevee May be? Let's pray it's not a zombie. No offense, Ghoulia. No offense, girl. So in last place. So for the last place, there was quite the tie, meaning that all these things that you'll see now, they all scored 1. So I couldn't rank them in different places. They all just ended up in last place. So last place, zombies. I did get a point for Ghoulia from the first one. But after that, I did not get zombies. Now this could be a skew, I guess you can say. And maybe the other ones didn't include zombies, but I did do quite a few Monster High ones, so there was a chance zombies could have won. Next was the Boogeyman, and for Boogeyman I had Twyla, which again I think this could have tied into Ghost and probably like some sort of like dream-like monster, a dream eater. Maybe you can do like a Freddy Krueger sort of thing, Muna from Pokemon. Like there's a few different things you can kind of go about. Maybe like Sleeping Beauty, a dead Sleeping Beauty, something like that, and like tie into the theme of Boogeyman. So there was options for it. Again, I think this would have been a really fun one. It does definitely tie into ghosts, but as you can see, we did not get that. Next was the werewolf. So we have our iconic Claudine wolf here as an example. I do think the wolf could have been a very fun one as well. I wouldn't do the Sims 4 werewolf necessarily, because I don't like how they look. I mean, hats off to furries. I just personally do not swing that way. But I think if we downloaded some CC with the ears and stuff, I think it could have been a really cool one. But not my favorite, I guess. And I'm kind of glad we didn't go for that. It would have been fun, however, in The Sims 3. I do like the werewolves in The Sims 3, so that would have been more fun if we were doing Sims 3s, but we're not. But again, it would have been an option that would have been a little bit more fun, but not a challenge, I don't think. Next, we had the succubus, which once again I got 1, and no, it was not done on the Monster High thing. For obvious reasons, there is no succubus in Monster High. If you don't know what a succubus is, you're probably too young to be here, and I highly recommend go watch Paw Patrol or something, or do something else with your time. I genuinely don't want to appeal to people of that age. But anyways, I'm not going to do that for YouTube demonetization reasons of including a succubus. Although I guess I could have used the Yandere Simulator one, but anyways, we'll just censor that altogether. And lastly, I had the plant sim possibility. I think this one too could have been a really cool one. I did include Venus McFlytrap. I think that was the last name. I think this could have been a really fun option. Again, I really like playing with the color green and stuff in a lot of different builds. So I think you could have done something similar with Venus or Poison Ivy from the Batman series. I think combining those two along with different plant sims could have been a really fun thing of doing a punk plant sim. Could have been a really fun option. Unfortunately, we did not get that. But again, maybe I'll do this again and just try it and see how the results are different and if I get the same one as I did this time. So these are our rejects. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for coming. So in third place, we'll give a round of applause for, and I will clap. I tried to do a drum roll before on my desk, but you couldn't pick it up in the mic, so we'll just do a round of applause. So this one was actually a shock for me, if I'm honest. Because I'm not actually sure if these are monsters. However, it was a fun concept, but I think it leaves doors open to a future video in the similar format. Since I had a lot of fun, I definitely want to do different videos with different things with this, but without further ado, let's move into it. Give it up for fairies. So I did do my Sims self quickly, just a very quick one. It has a fairy, just for the imagery of what we could have had and the options we could have done with it. So this obviously isn't a Sims 4 fairy world, but I definitely think this could have been a fun one. Obviously, if we were doing it in a Monster High theme, we would have done a lot more sprucing it up, but just for a quick idea of what it could have been, this is my Sim self has a fairy. But if for all you fairy fans, I think I might do a similar one but has Tinkerbell and just see what type of fairy we get and build off of that. I think that would be a very fun door to open. So moving that aside, coming into second place is, this one actually was on my predicted list, or so I guess my hypothesis was technically correct. So big day for science, ladies. But can you guess? I'm actually kind of sad it wasn't first place. However, I am glad to see it on the list. Yeah. Give it up for vampires. And again, I made my Sim self as a vampire. Just quickly going there and going to Vlad's house just to do a quick photo shoot in his graveyard. So I'm definitely mourning what it could have been. I really think she suits the vampire aesthetic, but if I did it in the Monster High series, I obviously again would have done a lot more than just throw a dress on myself, put some fangs on, and look more paler than I actually do in real life. I think for this, Draculaura has the pink skin, I could have done something similar with blue skin. And again, just give it more of that vampire, gothic, Monster High fashion as opposed to just doing this. But again, I am mourning what I could have been because I think she looks pretty bitchy and has a vampire. So finally, with all those out of the way, that maybe gives room to a very few things. So the options that could have been, we still have mummies. We could have been a fish person or mermaid, I guess. I'm not sure. We could have been a Frankenstein, a witch, a ghost, because boogeyman and a ghost are two different genres in Monster High, so there's a lot of things still left open. So finally, what will first place be? I feel I could have predicted this. And mind you, that's kind of foreshadowing what this is. And as it turns out, this was also another one of my hypotheses. So I am kind of sad because I feel like the others could have been a challenge. But let's give it up a round of applause for Witch. So I ended up getting the Witch. I feel like it could have been a lot more fun to do different monsters. However, I do think this was kind of predictable. I felt like I was going to get this one. But anyways, we'll do this in Monster High fashion, and I actually have been coming up with some ideas for it that I think really suits the Monster High and how it references the real world. So I'm actually really excited to start working on this after I do this video. So if you're curious what I'm going to do, please stay tuned, subscribe so you'll be notified when this video comes out. But I am excited, and I was a little bit sad it was the Witch. Even though it was one of my wants, I kind of wanted more of a challenge with it, but I think I'm actually pretty pleased after putting some ideas onto it. But yeah, it was my Animal Crossing character since I was a witch for Halloween. If you didn't see those videos, you can definitely go check them out. They're still up on my page. But anyways, thank you for watching us so far. So in the next episode, we will not moisturize, as I have there, but monsterize, and Monster High fashion has a witch. And as I said, I'm actually really excited to fulfill my idea right now. I'm even going to do a backstory and go all out on this because why not? It's Monster High. So I will say a big thank you for watching if you stay tuned to this. This is definitely a different video than what I've done or was planning to do anytime soon. I had so much fun doing this and reliving the Quotev days, the research thing. I had so much fun with it, but there's a picture of Marina. But before we move into it, since this is a profesh article research assignment, we obviously have to include our references because I am not looking to get copyright, and if you went to university or any type of school, you know how bad the potential of being plagiarized is and how scary it is. So all my quizzes can be my quizzes, those are not my quizzes, this is bad. So all the quizzes can be found linked in my bio if you wanted to go check them out. My Tumblr will also be there if you care, so check that out as well. All GIFs and images, the GIFs of Wisp and the censor thing, they came from just the Google Slides stuff. Other than that, all the pictures of the Monster High girls, they came from the Monster High wiki. So they're not my images. I do not own them. They're Mattel, I think. Other photos I made and can be found on my Tumblr. Not to bring that up or anything, but you should go check that out. The link will be in the bio. And yeah, it was all my references. So again, thank you so much if you made it this way. I'm looking forward to doing similar videos to this in the future. Obviously, as the time comes on and I go through more, this will definitely be like more improved. This was just an idea off the top of my head. But other than that, if you're interested, please leave a like, subscribe if you want, comment what Monster High character you were, or what monster you got, or what Monster High you want to be. Did you make any OCs growing up? I definitely tried to make OCs. I can't really remember them off my head. But other than that, have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.